I am doing great.
We got the little pre-show here, so we're just gonna chat for a sec here before I'm gonna share this in a couple different places. But we have a lot to discuss here today on the show for sure, and then we got some league night tonight, right?
We do. We'll see how that goes.
We'll see how that goes. All right, I'm gonna send here. What I like to do is I like to share to a group, which is Siteman Softball Nation. If you're not in Siteman Softball Nation, make sure to join that on Facebook.
If you're not in it by now, then just don't even worry about it. Honestly,
yeah, maybe don't. But but don't listen to him. Actually, just go ahead. You can go ahead and sign in. You know what I mean? Let's see. We're going to also share to my story, and I'm going to share it on your timeline, and I'm going to share it with the boys, and we're ready to go. So let me see. So let's share now to send in Messenger. Drew Rogers. We'll send it to him personally.
Somebody said Drew Rogers sucks, and I agree.
Nice. He sucks. Do you know where Drew finished in the team in home runs this year?
The sucky spot?
I think he was 3.
Of course he was 3, because he sucks.
Yeah, I gotcha. This is how this show is going to go today, folks.
It's going to be it's going to be our last, but it's going to be a good one.
Let's share on a friend's profile. I'm going to share on yours, Matt, and then we're ready to roll. Mm-hmm. We are ready to roll. First of all, just in general, how's the body treating? You always have an injury of some kind. Or how are you now? How would you rank yourself now on a 1 to 10? One being you're never going to be a 10 because you can't be a 10 at 39. Yeah, not possible.
Well, last night playing hockey, somebody told me he was going to beat me up. I said okay. I said, well, I don't have to go to work tomorrow. If I don't have to, so we could fight. And then he repeatedly told me how tough he was. And I said, well, we can just fight. And they kept telling me how tough he was. And we never fought for whatever reason that was. It is what it is. Same story, different night.
I got you. But you're not, no severe injuries right
now,
right?
No severe injuries. I do have lack of sleep, though, because Friday night, I thought I'd be like a good teammate and go sleep and put 3 into a room for one night so Eric Conan can enjoy it with his family and his kids and everything. I was like, no big deal. I'll sleep in Luke's bed in Indy. I'll sleep in Luke's bed.
Right.
So we get there about 11:30. We lay down. At 2:00, I'm still wide awake because there's the loudest snoring human being 2 feet from me.
That's Luke. Yeah.
So
yeah, I get it.
I went to Luke's truck and laid in the front seat until 5. But we'll talk about all that in a minute.
Boy, that's a subject matter here for the show.
This is going to be a good one.
Who are coming in now? This is episode number 92 of the Siteman Softball Podcast, and we're kind of doing is what I'm planning for the rest of this year is kind of this episode. So wrapping up the conference championships, a preview of Worlds before we go there, and then kind of a post Worlds recap, and then we'll kind of go from there, right? But this is episode number 92. We're going to be discussing a lot today. We're going to talk conference championships. We're going to review that. We're going to look ahead at world tournaments. We're going to look also back on just kind of the 2003 season. So there's a lot to discuss here. Some business, a big thank you, of course, to the Siteman Cancer Center. You can find us at Siteman Softball on Instagram, SitemanSoftball.com, and also Siteman Softball Nation on Facebook. We'll talk about Pure a little bit later as well. And we'll talk about our the pink bats and all that kind of cool stuff. By the way, I always like to ask this because you'll give us the honest thing on it. What was our bats tested and what passed at the tournament?
So how I've been doing bats this year is we have an extremely hot one, Jagger Harjo's bat that he hit at the Trip Roth Home Run Derby stadium balls in the 40-degree weather. And he was hitting them as far as all the pros. Okay. So that bat has made it in the barrel every single time.
Right. Which, by the way, which is insane.
Which is insane. It's got, I mean, Jagger might be listening, 1,500 plus swings, and Jagger is not a small human being, and he doesn't ever not swing hard. So what I do first is I take that bat always and put it through. So and I look at
that's your barometer. That's your barometer if we're going to get there.
So that one went through and tested at 275. That's the highest it's ever tested. So all I did from that point on was continue to talk to Jose and hand bats to him because I knew all the other ones were going to pass.
Right. I mean, it really is because we've talked about this before, but I mean, if something failed or didn't, I mean, teams fail bats all the time. Do you know what I mean? But we fail them so infrequently. It's just crazy how they hang up. I mean, hold up. Do you know what I mean? It's really crazy, honestly.
Honestly, I think we failed 3 bats the entire year. Luke failed in Nashville, which he broke it in BP Saturday. Eric Conan failed one. And I think there was a random other one that failed one
No,
time.
but I think the other one might have been, was it Jose or somebody, where it might have been like one that
It
was
was a
like an
Larson
old,
non-pures.
yeah,
Well,
like an
Larson's
old,
Larson's non-pures fail all the time. That's
yeah.
we
I'm
don't
talking
count him because
pures.
he's just not a pure guy. We don't
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
we don't try to claim him unless he's playing well also, which he does a lot of. So but anyways.
Okay. Very few. I mean, which is pretty crazy. Especially since and again, this isn't a show about a bat company, but I'm saying that we've been with several bat companies, and Pure has been by far not only the best bat, but durable. I mean, it's been crazy. But anyway, we'll talk about that later.
Another thing that I like,
Yeah.
one more about that. So at these tournaments, like people who I don't know, and I apologize for that if I came up and asked you, like non-big name players that I see them swinging a Pure like by the fence or getting warmed up, I always ask them when they're by themselves to get their real answer.
Right.
Do you like your Pure? And they're like, yeah, we like it. I'm like, okay, now if you got to pick the company that gave you free bats, would you still pick Pure? I'd probably have asked that question to people who I don't know who they are, B and A ball players, not the
right.
And I get a 95% rate of I would not swing any other bat, even if I had to buy the Pures.
Right.
That goes a long way.
Tell us what you need to know.
Yeah,
what you need to know. So let's kind of start. Let's talk conference championships and let's talk overall picture here. So for those that didn't know, obviously maybe figured it out. I was not personally at the conference championships, but my deputy, Mr. and Dr. Matthew Petrov, was in charge of it. I had some family obligations. We had a holiday here. There's thing handle. So let's talk about it. The record of the weekend doesn't indicate really how we played and how we are playing. We end up going 1-2, but what are your takeaways from this weekend?
Not everybody, but majority of the players wish they had one swing back only.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody wishes if they would have made one more play in the field, or probably still playing against whoever right now, today, 2 days later.
Close.
We played 80% of the game great. We hit it great. There was a couple key plays that just got away from us it wasn't like we booted a ball 3 balls every inning. We would play clean, miss one, and it just cost us 6. Okay. It is what it is. We play clean, miss one, cost us 6.
Right.
And then, we played good. Like you said, actually right. We scored a lot of runs. I mean, we scored 34 runs against Bay Area and left 3 on the table and hit into 3 double plays. That's hard to do.
I mean, they were, just the scores for everyone that didn't see our scores. So the first game, we'll go through some stuff too, and
sure.
specifically, but was against S&E. The final here was 40-32 against S&E. That was back and forth. Then Cornerstone, the final was 31-7 us over Cornerstone in the morning. You don't want to get us in the morning.
No.
And then it was 45-33 against Smash It, which again, game's even closer than the scores there. But the runs scored for us, 32 in a 7-inning game, right? 31, I think it was in a 4-inning game against Cornerstone. And then 33 in a 7-inning game. And both of those are against the ends there are against top AA teams, right? So what was kind of the vibe going out of the weekend?
Usually when you lose, everybody's pissed. That's just how it is. Nobody likes losing.
We've been there.
There was nobody. I mean, nobody was really aggravated. Everybody was like, hey, if we play like this in Florida, I don't know who's going to beat us in the A. Right. I don't think we've lost to an A team since Chicago.
The last time we lost to an A team, I had to look this up, was Comatose in Chicago in June.
Okay.
Right? Which is pretty crazy. I mean, to me, the goal of the conference championships for us, just being transparent with everybody here, was like we wanted to play together and play well before Worlds. That was the goal. Do you know what I mean? If you happen to go whatever, great. We weren't like quite in contention for the major, but it wasn't really the focus anyway. Like we always talk about that would have been awesome to make. Sure, of course. You know what I mean? I'm not going to downplay it, but this is the time of the year where you're taking your body of work for the entire year that you've grinded through, and it's a grind, right? With all the focus on winning a Worlds. That's what it's always been. That's what it's going to be on. Now, we could play Fantasyland and play in the major. Great. We didn't quite get there. But finishing, especially where we started, right?
Yeah, we had a rough start. That's the fact of the matter.
We had a rough
we didn't
start.
Play well early.
Yep. And to finish now in 22nd place, where we'll be the 9 seed at A Worlds and 22nd place. So in that top 25, which of course you want to be in, right? To me, I mean, early in the season, Matt, I think you would be a team. Conferences grind, as we know, but early in the season when we weren't playing very well, we were probably a good draw for most teams, right?
Absolutely.
Good draw. I like meaning like the way we were playing. If you got us, you wouldn't be like, oh well, we're in for it. No, you would be like, okay, that's probably a pretty good draw for us, right? Every team, I would say, for the most part. Doesn't mean we didn't win games. We won some games, but we didn't. Now I would argue the opposite. Would you say?
There was a lot of chitter chatter. Like, we don't want to play you guys. Are you guys not going to the AA? Because you guys stay in your hotel room for the AA. Play the GSLB. Leave us alone. That's what they said.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're playing at the level that you want to right now. We've always talked about this. A few things about this. Number one, we've talked about how it is a season, right? So it is a long, long grind, right? We've also talked about, there's teams every year that peak in like April or May, right? And like, of course we want to be playing better then, but we didn't play all that well. But you see some teams that were playing great then, maybe not so great now. But the only thing that matters is going into Worlds how we're playing. And I think we're in a good position for this, for sure.
We're hitting good home runs. We're hitting the ball. We can score without. This is the last 2 weekends, Evansville and here. We've hit good home runs with the exception of a few. Grown men are going to run into some bad home runs. It is what it is. Majority of the time, they're good. We're scoring without runs. We have
without home runs.
I'm sorry, without home runs.
It'd be very hard to score without runs.
I'm sorry, without home runs.
That'd be hard to do.
Confidence in their swings, hit the ball down.
Yeah.
We're playing with I said a perception of, we'll just say 3 or 4 total innings. We played great D for 2 tournaments. Right. I mean, we're pitching good.
Right.
It's just everything's coming together, and that's what it is really, though. Very rarely does a team start off and just kill everybody the whole year, unless you're not playing in the right class.
Right. And you end up looking at it, the only teams we've lost to over the last couple of months are AA teams.
Top 5 AA teams.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about very, very good teams. And we've also beaten a couple of them.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely.
And so you look at that, I mean, just, it's an exciting time going into Worlds. Now, looking at some info here just on the conference championships. And again, we won't spend a ton of time on that because, it was did what it needed to do for us, right? Of course, you want to play a couple more games, but whatever. First of all, let's just talk about this guy right away. Matt Worley.
Who's that guy?
Yeah, makes his debut here. And goes, and what you're getting here is a pitcher, right?
Right. Yeah.
But you got also someone that went a casual 11 for 13, which is 857.
Did not hit 1 home run.
And he hit, yes.
That's hard to do.
0 home runs. That is 11 for 13 with 0 home runs.
We were playing Bay Area, and I think the 3rd coach they sent over, because the first 2 they were bad luck, they said, asked where we found this guy. And I told him he was just sitting around in Kansas City doing nothing. Figured we just call him up and see what he was doing.
Yeah, and so obviously great debut for Matt, and it'll be another weapon down in Florida. Dustin Ray, by the way, I appreciate him coming out.
Absolutely, helped out a ton.
He can't make it to Florida, but he was a huge help. Someone we missed. I missed that I missed Dustin, but I know he was helping us out for sure in that one. All right, I'm just gonna just pick out some things that stuck out to me for this tournament. Another one, let's just talk about the new guys for a second. So Jansen was a bat off the bench for this tournament, and he got on for his pinch hits. So what else can you ask for there, right?
Jansen was great. He was the absolute perfect teammate, knew exactly what was going into, was ready at all times. I even wanted to hit him earlier in the game, in one of the games, and he goes, no, let him ride it out one more, use me in the 7th so I can walk this thing off.
Right.
I mean,
I love it.
You know what I'm saying? But he was ready from inning 2 to inning 7 to go in there anytime he wanted to run, which is he's a big guy.
I saw him actually go out there. I was like, he's pinch running. He's one of those guys on the live stream, which was shot with a potato.
I said,
this past weekend. He's one of the guys that even in the blurry live stream, you can be like, that's Jansen. I can spot him coming out.
I said, you can run every time that he gets on, except if there's 2 outs and he's hit a single, because I want to maybe score in the gap, and I don't want you to hurt anybody at the plate.
Right. And also, or if Tyler's like not on base, he's just standing there, right?
Right. Tyler hit it well, so he was always on base. Right. So that didn't work out.
And a big thing for us, people ask all the time, how do I get on Siteman, or I got DMs full of it. I always pass them on to you, Matt. But the chemistry factor is such an important thing for us. And ours is really like now a 10 out of 10, meaning that guys and especially when you're adding some guys late that come in here, Kenny being one of them, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
great. You have to fit in versus this thing. And it's just that everybody fits right in, different personalities, but everybody fits right in. Right.
Yep.
So I'm going to pick out some other things just from this tournament, Matt. If you have any things, just kind of hop in on it. I'm just going to kind of go a little bit, almost guy by guy here. Drew had 13 RBIs in this tournament. Any thought on Drew? Obviously, he probably won his average a little bit better, but contributing as he always does, and it's a key spot in the lineup also.
We had one really good throw to second base. That's all I will say from this tournament. It was. Right,
I got that.
Picked up a really hot hit seed, had 17 years to throw it to second base, short-armed it into right field. Drew, what do you have to say, Drew?
I did send a text on that. I couldn't tell who got the ball. because I was watching the potato.
I love you.
I was watching the potato. But I saw that and I was like, "Where the hell got that throw?
Drew absolutely killed it.
Where did they throw it?"
Drew absolutely killed it. Everybody killed it. Everybody makes an error too. I just like giving him shit because it's just more fun.
And you know what? Total body of work here is, I think, more important because we're going to talk about Worlds here in a second. Right. But he said bye. Drew's leaving. Drew was just great this season. I mean, because one, his role of he usually bats for the most part second to last, right around
every
there.
Time. Him and Jose have not moved 10 and 11.
And that people don't realize how important those spots are. I mean, they really are important, and also to have pop down there, right? Because it's not like C-ball or something like that. Like we were starting to get towards the end of that order there. That it's very, very important. I mean, Drew this year I'm looking at the overall team stats here as well this year. Drew from that spot was third on the team with in-home runs. Jagger with 37, Willie with 32, Drew with 30, right? And also knocking in 84 runs, which was third on the team from that spot, Matt. So, we look for big things from Drew down in Florida for sure.
What's nice about that spot is if somebody runs into a home run in front of him, he'll try to hit it down.
Right.
And if they don't, if you can go get 3 or maybe a 2 with 2 outs, depending on the situation, he'll swing for that too. So it's just a great guy to have down there.
For sure. Then going up here, a lot of positives you can say about this guy, Kenny Leach, coming right on in here and doing what he does. Batted .824 at the conference championships. And for the regular season, remember he came in at the end here, was .727. I just don't think you could ask for much more there. I mean, for what he's been doing.
I have nothing to say but great job.
Yeah. I mean, what I appreciate about him, by the way, is that it's another, it's a veteran player, right? Knows what he's doing. There's never a moment too big where he's up and you're like, oh, I'm worried that he might get a little nervous here. Like he just very comfortable. You know what I mean? In every single spot. And nothing but good stuff to say about Kenny. Mr. Larson. So the first step with him is you got to get him there. That's the first step. Do you know what I mean? So he had, I think, work on Friday, right? Which caused a little bit of musical chairs. I mean, that's why we have depth, but we are, correct me if I'm wrong on this, a way better special team, but both ways, but when Danny's in the lineup.
Well, yeah, I mean, Danny Larson's great. Your middleman's arguably the most important player in the infield. That's not taking away from anybody else. But when you don't have him, you move guys around. It is what it is. I mean, everybody knows softball, knows that's the thing. So, and when your middleman's there and your 2-hole hitter, it helps out for sure. Absolutely.
Yeah. So he coming in and
he hit it great this weekend too, I'm sure. I don't know exact numbers, but you're about to tell me, I bet.
Let's see his numbers this weekend. Well, he only had 1 day of work here. This weekend, let me see here. He was 600 for the weekend, 6 for 10, so only 10 at bats. But for again, the total body of work here, though, for the season, he's been great on both sides of the ball. Was leadoff for a while, then's been 2 for a while. Like he could do it. He batted 694 during the season. In a tough spot. Do you know what I mean? And so we've gotten the Danny Larson we expected to get.
Yep.
And then let's see, rolling through here, one of my favorite ones to talk about, the ball whacker guy himself, Mr. Brandon Keane.
Yep.
And people, by the way, make the mistake because he bats oftentimes behind Willie, right? And people are like, well, maybe I'll walk that big bearded guy to get to that guy. And it turns to be a critical mistake every single time. And like Brandon, even when he has a tournament that I don't remember something memorable from, I'm not saying a conference championship, but other tournaments, I'm always looking and he's batting 700, 750. Like he's just a machine. And also is a player where, as he'll tell you, he's the second best player at every position, right? But another player where if his swing is a little bit off, which does not happen often, but he also has such a good eye that he can find ways on base even when he's not percent whacking mode.
I think there's a lot of turning points that happened in this season. One of the ones that contribute very much to our offense was when Willie and Keane were hitting together.
Yeah.
Like early in the year, we get one of them going, one of them not, or one of them hitting home runs, or whatever the situation was, it just wasn't right. Something switched, and if we wanted a home run, Willie hit it, and then Keane hit it down. If Willie hit it down, Keane would hit it out.
Right.
It was just those two fit all of a sudden, hey, we're going to start doing the best we can. And those two figured it out, and we flipped the switch, and that is where our real offense. The 4, 5, 6 spot, when you use your home runs well in the 4, 5, 6 spot, go get a 3 or maybe a 2 with 2 outs kind of thing like that. You don't hit 3 solos in a row right there. You do a lot of good things. I'm not talking like one time in the line. I'm talking the entire game. Like it really changes it a lot when those guys are protecting each other and, Keene's swing changes according to Willie's swing. When you have that ability to do that, it really helps in the middle of your lineup.
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure Keane and Willie can go hit a home run every single time if they wanted to.
Right.
Every time, which is not the goal for those two to do that. Now they might hit a couple bad solos just because they hit it 12 feet high and it goes over the fence. That's not what I'm saying. But like Willie looks at Keane, I'm going to go get 3. Keene's like, good, I'm going to hit it in the right center gap.
Right.
Willie walks, looks back at Keane, says, do a job. Keane hits a 3-run bomb. We get 3. It happened when that
like
started
clockwork.
Happening.
Right.
It changed everything.
Right. That makes a lot of sense. So Brandon does what Brandon does. You know what I mean?
Right.
And another guy, it's the guy who's always smiling and laughing, Mr. Jose Hernandez. Always having a good time, big smile on his face when he comes running in from center field at full speed.
Yeah.
But that's what we expect from him, right? That's right. Jose. I nailed him down there, right? But I mean, again, something you taught me years ago in softball when I was getting started, your 3 things that matter: pitcher, your middleman, your center fielder, right? Especially at this level. And everyone else does what they're supposed to do. Jose, I mean, this year, I want to say has almost played every single inning in center. Almost. I mean, like maybe Tyler played once or something. Has held it down. I mean, it takes him 9 minutes to get in from center field, but when he's out there, he takes it away.
Sorry to interrupt you. Luke yelled 3 or 4 or 5 innings, hustle off the field, and all of a sudden you see Jose hustle off the field. It was very, very funny. Luke goes, watch this. I'm going to say it again and make him run in from center field. It was great.
Yeah.
It was great.
But Jose's year, doing the things that he needs to do in center field. I mean, I mean, taking away exactly what you want from a center fielder, in my opinion.
Remember the center.
He's made all the plays he should, right? You're not like, oh God, he should have had that one and bungles it. He's made some extremely difficult plays. Do you know what I mean? And also been very close on some extremely difficult plays. But I don't know what else you can ask for from a center fielder.
I mean, the center fielder runs every ball hit no gap, both sides.
Yeah.
Every ball in the middle, he's got to make sure he's there if the infielder misses it. And then he's got to throw it hard every time because you don't ever want everybody to hit a double. I mean, all positions in this game are harder at some things. The center fielder has to just run the most. It is what it is.
Yeah, and also being able to bat, and that's why you see sometimes at the conference level, and Jose is a great hitter. Do you know what I mean? And he batted 630 something this year.
630.
But that's one of the in conference where sometimes people sacrifice the offense for defense, right? That and pitcher. You'll see that occasionally, even like, oh, that guy's an unbelievable center fielder, not the best hitter. Do you know what I mean? But or that guy's a tremendous pitcher, not a great hitter. So you really get a nice balance with him, and he's done a great job. Expect big things at Worlds from him. Here's someone that, because again, we're going guy by guy here, and then we're going to talk about some pure bats here in a second. But someone I wanted to mention here. We're getting up to him. Okay, I don't want to go out of order. This guy, I don't know. He's okay. Jagger Harjo. I don't know if you've heard of him. Have you heard of him?
I don't know who he is.
I don't know who he is. Should we just skip over him?
I know he doesn't have the Uber app.
Right. Right. I heard that story, Jagger, by the way.
Does not have the Uber app. So just for you guys to know, if you go to a bar, Jagger will not be getting the Uber.
Yeah.
On top of that, Jagger did everything that he was supposed to do, plus some, and then add some more to that.
Yep. Led our team in hitting this year.
Every category.
714 average, 96 RBIs, 37 home runs, and this is in 126 plate appearances, by the way. Right.
Also, like them other guys.
Also 19 doubles. And he does it all. And you know what I appreciate from him this year, which you see him like mature another year as well, right? Where like he has everyone has an occasional random bad game. Do you know what I mean? His are very few and far between, trust me. But when they happen,
something usually breaks, but
someone might die, but that next game's going to be 5 for 5, guaranteed. May as well just write it in.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like there's no lingering effect or anything like that if he's not a little bit on or off, which again doesn't happen often, but when it does, and that's something I think I've seen a big difference. This short memory now.
We always have another pair of batting gloves ready for Jagger.
So when he rips one.
Oh yeah, he just incinerates. You're gone. But yeah, Jagger, like I said, is a phenomenal ball player. He plays an important position. Every position is important. Plays a great left field. Has a cannon for an arm. Loves the game. Always working at his craft. He yells and comments. Jagger's great. Jagger's just great. Everybody on our team's great.
Yeah,
I mean, what impressed me most about Jagger though, he knew he could hit home runs. That's not
right.
He hit him first time he ever played. He hit one out of the stadium and whatever. It's that when the guy in front of him accidentally hit a bad home run or whatever, he went up there with the mindset, well, I can hit this down just as easy as I can hit it out. And that's what I think that's what hit him 715. Right. It wasn't hitting the home runs because he wouldn't go up there and hit a solo to hurt our team to save his average. He was like, now I have to try to work this down, which you will make a couple more outs hitting it down than hitting it out. But he was up there. Yeah. He's
gonna go as far as he wants in this game. You know what I mean? And also underrated left field he plays.
He plays great.
Meaning like I always joke that it's like a minivan running out there. Do you know what I mean? Just watch. It's just a big boy, and he gets to him. Do you know what I mean? It's a big boy out there. Let's see. We already talked about Jansen. Just a few guys left because I feel like we talk about this all the time, Matt, but it's fun to kind of just on the podcast give people a little behind the curtain view of some of the things that go on, So Mr. Willie Dooley, one of our linchpins, one of our big leaders, this year, I mean, coming off a bad injury. And to me, his season has gone like this. Meaning we're going on the ups. I don't know which way you guys can see this on the video, but it's the stock market going up.
Willie, I don't know. Willie, you let me know if this is pretty accurate. Started slow, took some work to get your timing back.
Yeah.
A little confidence maybe. While you were going through that, you had great plate discipline, which would be more walks and hitting. That's why maybe your home runs are a little lower because the first half you weren't whatever. And then all of a sudden you flip the switch. I like to say it was when you started hitting BP with me, but we won't throw that out there. Whatever that happened. And it was like, well, I'm going to start hitting them 450 feet again, and everybody else can hit it around me, and that's what we're going to do. You and Keen figured it out, and there. On the non-softball ability stuff, the leadership that he brings, when we're down after an inning, he fires it up. He gets guys out of the dugout. Get everybody out here. He has a pregame talk of we should expect to win these games. He gets in your ass. I'm telling you right now, if you do something wrong and I yell at you, you're like, okay, I can go beat Petrov up. Willie yells at you, you don't really say anything to Willie. You're like, yes, sir. What do you want me to do?
Yeah,
that's what you do.
Right. And
now, with that being said, it's never there's never really going to beat you up, but you just when that man starts yelling at you, you listen.
Right. I mean, he's that was something we wanted to increase kind of that veteran leadership this year, and he has certainly brought this. And by the way, rest in peace to the car that he hit at BP a couple of weeks ago, which by the way was way the F out there. I wasn't there, but I know where the car was, and I know where he had to hit it. And
the
so
guy got
these guys,
the
car.
Brand new Mustang GT 500. He had it for one day. It wasn't even on his insurance yet, and really hit one every bit of 425 in the air, one hop the parking lot, and hit it directly in the side of the door.
It couldn't have gone worse. So shout out to that guy for making a bad decision, right?
It was very
giving
funny.
us a subject matter to talk about. All right, Tyler Copeland. What's some thoughts here?
All I can say about Tyler is he did exactly everything that you think a human being should do when asked to do it. Only made arguably the 3 best catches that I've seen on our team maybe all year, with the exception of maybe Larson, one great play up the middle I can remember. Other than that, Tyler is like hands down, these are the 3 best plays we made. Unbelievable. And continues to work hard and do what he does. We need a home run, he swings for it. He hits it down, he runs hard. Yes, sir. Great. I mean, what can you say about Tyler? He started off
and wants to be out there. Because he's platooned this year, meaning like he, as the role going into the season as being like, okay, he's kind of the 4th outfielder, not based on ability, but based on the fact that of like, okay, maybe Brandon's out there or whatever it might be, but hey, Tyler's gonna get plenty of playing time. Late in the game, stuff like that. But he's played, a lot because, he's played himself in. There's no other way of saying it, right?
That, and not even that, though, like, flights get delayed, stuff like this. Sometimes to save a little extra money, we throw a 3rd guy into a room just so we don't have to have a hotel room for the whole night. Tyler doesn't care about anything.
Right.
His flight got in at 1 o'clock.
Real quick there, by the way, teams might be like, what the heck are they talking about there? Because we have 19 people in a room. We do 2 in a room.
2 in a room.
2. That's kind of been my philosophy with the team because I just like – anyway, because people are like, what are you talking about with 3? Is that good, bad? Yeah.
Tyler's my go-to guy. Was like, when I need someone to do a little bit extra, absolutely. Tyler, can you carry the screen? Great. Tyler, I will take Tyler on every team that I'm involved with from now until I die, and he will never, ever once complain.
Yeah.
Whatever. He had a broken bat that didn't get returned. I said, hey, man, I'm working on it for you. Oh, it's whatever. I have plenty. It's just, you can't.
Makes it easy. Makes it easy on us. What makes it easy on us, which is great. And I also do have to give him a shout. Normally when someone wins a game for you, we talk about it's a walk-off hit, right? Or it's a 2-out amazing defensive play that wins a game. He won the game for us against West Point in Chicago in the 4th inning or something. Whatever it was, when he made the catch, brought back the grand slam.
Threw a guy at home.
And then we had a double play on that, and then we scored 1 million runs and ended up winning the game. That was the only time I've maybe seen in a long time where a game was lost and won in about that point in the game. You know what I mean? So yeah, I agree with everything you said there on Tyler. Couple guys left here. Eric Conan and another guy. You could almost continue that Tyler conversation there of saying a guy who will do anything and has played 1,000 roles this year.
Everything I just said about Tyler, you say about Eric, but he's got 10 more years of experience, so he does it just a little bit better. Right? I think, what do you have? 9 triples this weekend? I know not 9. All he did is hit triples.
He let, let's just put it this way. We played 3 games. Okay. And Tyler, that would make more sense. Eric led the tournament in triples.
And I think he's faster than Jagger.
We played 3 games. Some teams 7 games.
Eric, are you faster than Jagger? We still haven't seen this race, but Eric's on the older side. He knows what that's going on. He's absolutely killing it. He's putting in work. He's hitting. He's playing every position. We tell him to go start a game. He goes and starts. I tell him to catch. He goes and starts. You know what I know what he's going to do always is he's going to hit. And he hits a home run if we need him. Pull side. At one point, the right fielder was standing on the line. I think he was straddling it. And what did he do? Hit a seed down there, foul, just like he starts every other time.
Yeah, and he's just, he's been a Swiss Army knife when we need him to go in there in any role of hitting. Do you know what I mean?
another guy you absolutely have nothing bad to say about.
No.
Always one on your team. I mean, great teammate. Go above and beyond for you. If he can help you out, he absolutely will. I mean, there was a time when like somebody didn't have the right bat that we wanted or something
Right.
like that. It got moved around. He was like, "Well, I have two. Want me to just send him one of mine?"
Right.
Most out of his bag.
Right.
I was like, no, you don't have to do that. We'll get it figured out. But just
and he's a guy also always ready to go in, and if he's not playing, right? So for example, he's also a guy you could bring into a game and have confidence he could do either way. He can hit it out or he can hit it down. You know what I'm saying? Like he's a guy that veteran moves. So he's had a, again, very, very good year. Great teammate. Here's someone that has a very interesting role this year because you wouldn't have written him down as a pitcher necessarily going into this year.
Yeah.
Mr. John Branham.
Yeah, JB.
Yeah, JB. Other than his changing of size all the time. Sometimes you get biggest JB, medium JB. There's all kinds of different JBs, right? But overall,
different JBs.
You got all kinds of different JBs, but all of them have been good this year. All of them. And he stepped into a role that, he not that he hasn't pitched before, right? But I'm saying he stepped into that role when we needed it.
Turned our season around.
Delivered.
Turned our season around.
I mean, you couldn't argue against that.
You're right.
Could you?
I mean, we can't argue behind him. I'll give him that. But
yeah, we played well behind him, and he does it on both sides of the ball too, right? Another guy that brings hits the crap out of it, Right. And then last guy, I don't know if you know him very well, but his name is Luke Boyster. He's at the top here of my, so reverse alphabetical order here. So I want to end with Luke, and then I want to talk. We're going to talk a little bats. We've got a couple other subject matters to cover, but let's talk about Luke.
I got one more thing about JB. JB helped us build this our second year. He wasn't there for the first year, but helped us build this for 2 years. Leader. He's a quiet leader. He is. Yep. This is just as much his as it ours. Like we're very passionate about this, right? JB's on. We talk all the time about all this. JB's got 3 kids that are young. To him to do this and want to do this for us, we appreciate that. You know what I mean? So, and the fact that he's moving around positions, third base, shortstop, catcher, and hitting it all the time. You know what I mean? So I can't, like I said, another great thing to say about JB. Now, Luke Boyster, I'm biased, so I don't really care what you guys think watching this. I'm going to just tell how it is. He's my best friend, and he had the hardest thing to do in softball is hit the ball down for doubles.
Right.
Jagger can't swing for a home run if Luke doesn't get on in front of him. Or Larson messes it up, whatever not. I'm just saying, to hit the ball down and to hit for a high average is unbelievable.
Well, I mean, Luke, this year, you got to look at it here. He had 131 plate appearances, which is the most on the team, okay? 27 doubles, right? Here's something you don't see too often with someone that can hit with power. 27 doubles, 16 home runs. Do you know what I mean? And basically right under 675 average. I'm happy for Luke because I like Luke a lot. I like everybody on the team, obviously. And I know that Luke last year did not play the way Luke would wanted to play, right? And that also had a lot to do with he was some personal stuff going on, all extremely understandable. Do you know what I mean? But he came out with something to prove this year. Now, the story's not finished, right? We're going to finish the story in Florida of the 2023 season. But he came out on a mission to say, hey, I'm the Luke Boyster you guys expect. And I'm telling you, I couldn't ask for anything more this year.
We hit BP together all the time, and it's very easy because Luke hits 3 bags of balls in the left center gap.
Yep.
He goes, this is where I'm hitting it. It is what it is. Every now and then we'll play a game, and he'll hit 3 balls in the gap, and then they'll move over, and he'll tickle one on the other side just to show him they can do it, which is even more funny because everybody's like, it's even better. Luke puts in work, does every can. Another guy that plays anywhere in the infield. If you want to put him in the outfield, you absolutely could too. But hitting it down in front of your home run hitters is almost more important than having home run hitters, and he is doing that. If he comes up and hits a home run, he's pissed.
Right. And he's and this is the last 2 years. Any walk-off opportunity he's had, he's taken care of it, including a first game of the season against the Seminoles, hot Florida, long fences, no problem. Do you know what I mean? Afterwards, I was like, that was stadium specs. He goes, it was? You didn't even know how big the field was. Yeah. And, just clutch. It's tough leading off those games, knowing that your job is to get on base, for that next guy. And, and also, I don't know why we start the game with a hit. It just throws everybody's confidence like you wouldn't believe.
A double. I think JB had some pretty cool athletic stat that he sends out for about people and stuff. Like the number of bats determines all this stuff, but Luke is like one of the more higher percentage to hit it, like top 3% double hitters for the number of bats
100%.
in the conference. I mean, that's just.
Yeah, I mean, you get unlimited doubles too. Do you know what I mean? So it's nice. It's nice that saving us one when we need it, and setting the tone for us for sure. So, well, that's the rundown of all the boys. Do you know what I mean? We're not going to run down ourselves.
What about
don't need
you?
to run down me. I got nothing.
Well,
you don't need to talk about me.
I'll tell you
talk about me.
I'll tell you what we do. Me and Dave hit BP all the time. Mm-hmm. We work at it. We work on it. We work through our mechanics, everything. Nobody works harder. If you think Dave is just phoning it in, and be like, Dave's just doing this, you are absolutely wrong. He changed his workouts, his body, his eating, his everything, his energy, all these things, especially being 40, to get better at this game of softball.
Almost 40.
Almost 40. So, like I said, maybe your numbers determine that. Maybe they don't. You have had some bad games, some great games. It is what it is kind of thing. But if anybody ever questions how hard you work, you just tell them, you know what, this conversation's over because you're absolutely wrong. You've done great.
I appreciate, do the best we can here. And not
only that, you deal with all of us. Like
I
filter a lot of it away from you, but then you still get a lot of it. So just, you deal with all of us. It's just.
That's why I thank you as usual, Matt, for your efforts. You know what I mean? Like 90, you're handling 90% of the behind the scenes stuff, if not more. So I appreciate it as always, and keeping the glue together. Point I want to make to everyone on this, and then I want to talk bats, and then we'll talk maybe slight worlds, and we'll get out of here. We talked about why being organized and not being a shit show, right? Makes a difference, right? Why or how? Right? Because, we keep things, like we said, 2 in a hotel room, stuff's booked way in advance. Shout out to Aaron Petrov. Flights, all the things that are handled. So, and then organizing the trip when you're there, because it's freaking chaos, right? Someone doesn't know how to use Uber. Someone got stuck.
No one got stuck. Stop. No, not on this one.
No. Someone's flight got mechanical issues. Someone doesn't know how to get their rental car. We got a lot to do. Do you know
we have a hotline number to Aaron for any problems. I'm just like, call Aaron.
And I'm saying that, thank you for mitigating all that stuff and just make it so the guys can focus on softball, right? And
but this isn't, And then also another thing, you got time for a 2-minute story?
Yeah, go ahead.
So hopefully. Cornerstone game 8 in the morning. We know we're coming out, what we're doing. Drew and them were like, we're going to be at the field at 6:00. We're hitting on our field at 6. No one's taking it from us at 6. I told everybody, be ready to hit at 6:15. You don't got to be there at 6. Those guys are crazy. At 5:55, the gates were closed, and 7 of our cars were lined up waiting to get in the pitch black dark.
Yeah.
That was unbelievable. Yeah. Drew's mad, yelling at the lady for not letting the gate in. He's over there yelling at her. I told her to be nice. Maybe he'll get her in. Finally, we get in. And who's the only other team that's even remotely there when we are? The crazy RoofX guys.
Right.
Us and them are hitting BP with begging for the lights to get on. That says something.
Right. Well, what you're seeing here is that there's total buy-in, total commitment here. And that's why it's a good transition. We'll talk at the end about bats, but looking ahead here.
We're not done.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. This was the regular season story, right? That we just talked about. Leads up to Florida next month here, a couple weeks away, right? In Florida. And, let's see if we can finish what we started here this year. Do you know what I mean? And so I'm excited about it. Trust me, we know how good the teams are. We know how good we are. We know everything.
Never take anybody
right now.
Lightly.
I don't care if
anybody can lose to anybody.
No, ever take anyone lightly. Do you know what I mean? So I will give no bulletin board material to anybody because we don't do it. Meaning, we get a random team that I haven't heard of. You think we're coming out there and be like, all right, guys, just phone this in, and we're hoping we move on?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely. I mean, could not be further from the truth. Could not be further from the truth. What the letter is next to their name. I don't care if they're conference. I don't care if they're not. I don't care if it's Little Sisters of the Poor. Matt, we will be there, and we'll be ready to go. Any thoughts on that going into Worlds? Because that's really that's what it's all about.
I wouldn't want to go to battle with anybody else. Does that mean, is that, you know what I'm saying? I wouldn't be like, man, I really wish I was playing for these guys at Worlds. No, I don't want anybody else to battle with. I'll ride with these guys till the brakes come off.
Yeah. And listen, and I got to tell you right now is when I go through our current, who we got, right? There's not one person that when we turn this podcast off in a few minutes, I'm like, Matt, oh, screw that guy. like that guy's been a major problem the whole year. We've trust me, but we have nobody like that. You know what I mean? Like this team is ready to go. So, I stay on the journey and watch what happens to this. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, because you better be ready. You coming for us, you better be ready. In Florida, I'll tell you that right now.
You think we're going to work harder for a month before we go, 2 weeks or whatever it is.
Yeah, whatever's left, we'll be working for it. Last but certainly not least, Matt, for a second, I got to give a shout out here, a couple things here. Pure Bets. We're going to talk about the pink ones really quickly right now. We are in the midst of this. I want to give everyone a link. Make sure you know this one. puresportstech.com/pure for the cure. That is the place you want to go. There's apparel, there's bats, ASA, USSSA. It's the same bats as the sold out Siteman bats, just now
cool pink job.
Yeah, with a cool pink paint job, right? So I would highly encourage you checking that out. I appreciate everyone's support. I've gotten like endless messages of people ordering. When you do order, make sure to use the Siteman code, promo code Siteman. That will give you a nice chunk of change.
Hey, if you forget to do that, all you do are donating more money to cancer. So it's not
that's why I said someone forgot and they couldn't retroactively do it. And I was like, well, more money for cancer research. So percentage from every sale will be going directly to the Siteman Cancer Center breast research. In fact, I just talked to their team on actually today. We're emailing back and forth about some stuff. And I said, I can't wait to make that donation. And they're looking forward to it. Just know it's going to a good spot. And you have a badass bat. And it performs. Yeah, go ahead.
The white Siteman in this Midwest area, everybody's loved it. If you want to try one, get a hold of one of our guys. All of our guys have one. They will gladly. They're gonna let you take it, but they will let you use it. Even the Jansen got one this weekend. If you're down south New Orleans area and you don't know about the pink one, go swing Jansen's. He loves it. He hit it
right.
BP. He loves it. He's gonna promote it down there. The pink one is the exact same bad as the white one. So for all the guys locally, they're like, they didn't get the white Siteman one. A lot of guys got them.
Because some people missed out. Because they sold out and some people missed out. That's just the way it goes sometimes, unfortunately. Right. And those were 100% gone. And so now it's an opportunity here. And these will not be sold forever by any means. They're going to be cutting off sales at some point. I'll make sure to let everybody know about that. But make sure you get your order in now because it'll be, takes about 7-ish weeks, somewhere around there to get. Yeah. And also
they're going to keep the pre-order open as long until they're done. Like, I don't know how that is. But
they have a way. We're trying to keep it open for at least a couple more weeks, but I can't make that guarantee. So I wouldn't wait on it. Do you know what I mean? Necessarily.
There's no number this time, correct?
No.
Like last time we had a
set number that we knew and they're gone. This one's a little bit different. Okay. We're trying to go, get as many as we can, right? And help as many people as we can. Speaking of that, great transition here to like kind of last thing I want to talk about, which is certainly not least, is Kathy, and is it Bove? Is that how we pronounce the last name? I hope so.
I'm not sure.
Give me some. I'm going to read what she texted you, but
read that first.
Give us a little. Okay, here's what it says.
Let me tell you the story first. How about
that? I want to hear. I think the story was what I wanted to hear first.
So we're playing Smashes Sports. Their center fielder is a monster. Her son, hindsight, is great. Whatever. We lose, and no one likes to lose. Everybody hates taking that team picture after we lose, right? You're all aggravated. You want to get out of your stuff. She came over and asked me about our sponsor and Dave. I said, no, he's not here, but he's the sponsor, cancer and everything like that. She asked if she could get a team picture with us because of Dave, she'll tell you, I'm not sure the details. I read it, but I don't remember. She's a cancer survivor, has her last chemo and everything like that. So we gave her a bat, and I told the guys, hey, this young lady would like to get a picture with us. And every single one of our guys put their shirt on with a smile and was more than happy to take this picture. If me and Dave ask to take a picture after we lose, we have to fight 3 people to get the picture. Everybody whines about it.
In fairness, they all do it now, but I get the point taken. Right. Point taken. Yeah.
So, and she was almost in tears.
Yeah.
Because of her story, which Dave's going to read to you in a second that. But she was just unbelievably grateful for all the cancer research that's been done and everything like that. Her son thanked us greatly for that. It meant a lot to her. It was just a great moment that softball did without the softball part.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to kind of say is I want to leave today's episode with this because this is something we all love competing, we all love running around, we all love doing this stuff. That's why we do it, right? We like competing and we like competition. That's what we do. But when there's something bigger at stake, it's pretty cool. Do you know what I mean? Especially stuff that people rag on softball all the time. You know what I mean about whatever it is, individualistic. People are nuts. They're not necessarily wrong, but there's a lot of good out there too, right? There's a lot of good. So I just want to give just read this, and then we're going to wrap up the episode. So my full name is Kathy Cat. Now, again, I apologize if I pronounce the last name wrong. Bovey. Son plays with Smash It Bay Area Legends. Matt was to send this to me. He said, please tell your sponsor, so he's supposed to send it to me, which he did, that I said, thank you from the bottom of my heart. I was diagnosed with OC stage 3 on 5/3, surgery on 5/10, and chemo started on 6/6. My CA 125 returned to normal levels after treatment number 2. My last treatment is this Tuesday, 9/19. So right during this, by the way. And I get to ring the chemo bell. I am blessed. I'm also thankful for all the OC research, especially those Teal sisters that came before me. I've joined the West Michigan OC Alliance in hopes to help future Teal sisters not feel like they've been handed a death sentence, and also to bring more awareness and screenings. Thank you again for your team for taking the time for the pictures. It was a small act of kindness and very appreciated.
We were wearing our cancer awareness jerseys with all the cancer ribbons on the back is what she loved that jersey. We took a picture with 2 people backwards so you could see the ribbon, Larson and Tyler. They both have nice butts, so it helped out. And then the cancer front, cancer awareness. It was just a good moment.
Great moment there. And, if we can do a little bit good in our spare time, why not? Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So, Kathy, congratulations to you, by the way, on getting to ring that bell. And just hearing that story is just amazing. So, let's end on that note, Matt. GHU is always coming on. All full steam ahead towards the World Tournament. We'll talk about that as we get closer. And, hopefully we'll have a fun end to this 2023 story for sure.
Anybody have any questions about anything, you can reach out to me about bats, about how we do things, just anything you want to talk softball with. Find me, Facebook, somebody give me my phone number. It is what it is kind of thing. Give me a call.
All right, my friends. All right, Matt, and I will see you later tonight for League.
Oh, can't wait.
All right, bye.